Hello, and welcome to Knights of Night Actual Play Podcast. This 5th edition D&D game, The Heretic, was written and run by your DM, Scott. And now, please enjoy episode 476, titled, A Druid, a Paladin, and a Cleric Walk into a Bar. Actual play begins immediately.
Hello, I'm your DM, Scott, for this evening's 5e adventure, The Heretic. With me tonight, starting on my right, is...
I'm Michael, playing Brother Byron, a human acolyte utilizing the grave domain.
I'm Tom. I'm playing Alder Rusha, a male human cleric that is now a member of the Fist of Amira.
Hi, I'm Mike, playing Marduk, a male half-orc fighter, graduate of the Academy, and new Fist of Amira.
I am Jim. I'm playing Grodor, who is a weak male hobgoblin warlock from Dulgug. He is on a quest for power and knowledge.
John, I'm playing Melody, a female cleric, the third of the exemplar family Harmony, an ex-ambassador turned political operative.
I'm Thomas. I'm playing Gabrielle d'Angelis. She's a female human paladin and a holy fist of Amira on a mission to the Hollow Lands.
So, Gabrielle goes down in a heap off of the horse, and no, I'm not cruel enough to do falling damage. That takes us to Mel.
I don't know that I want to get any closer.
No. You've just realized that redcaps, which none of you have had the opportunity yet to research or learn about their lore, are incredibly vicious at close range.
Okay.
What say you, Mel? You see Gabrielle fall off the horse.
I'm trying to determine if I can hide her, because I have a spell that might do that. I am not high enough level to do that. Okay. Well then, I think I'm going to take a minute to try to figure this creature out. It seems to have been spawned for some reason that maybe we can manipulate it so that, at least confuse it so that it doesn't murder us all. He seemed to only attack Aranis after he took a shot at him. I don't know. I'm out of my element here.
What do you do, Mel? You're going to do the history or arcana check?
Yeah, I have an ability that lets me analyze the aura of a creature, learn its HP, immunities, resistance, vulnerabilities, and you can private text some of these details and, give an overview. But I'm going to spend 2 points of magic juice and try to... This is from the Goddess of Judgment, but the ability to read auras is part of their church. It's used in kind of a truth-telling sense in their courts, and something I learned while in their country.
Okay, that's awesome. Braylo is the patron goddess of West Cauldron, the arbiter.
I don't think there's any kind of resist for this. It's just an assessment ability.
Right. They have resistant to non-magical weapons, not made of cold iron.
Okay.
So if it's cold iron, it's good. If it's magical in any way, shape, or form, any kind of magic damage, it goes fully to them. Otherwise, they have resistance to it, which means they take half damage. They're immune to being charmed, to falling asleep, or to being frightened. They have dark vision. They have right around 45 hit points. The one that you guys have hit several times is past halfway. He's bleeding now.
Okay.
He's definitely taken some damage from all these pinpricks that you've been doing. Their iron boots are nasty. If they actually strike you with their iron boots in a kicking action, which it couldn't do to Gabrielle because she was up on a horse and it's small, the best it could do was attack her legs from the ground. So if they actually get a chance to kick you with their boots, it's pretty wicked. The sickle is very deadly, and the boots are very deadly.
Okay. I'm going to shout out from the woods, cold iron. They're weak to cold iron. That was an action, so I'm going to try to move closer to get to Gabrielle.
Okay, that's double move, double move, double move. Putting yourself awfully close to that red cap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, understood. Grodor?
Light this red cap up, Grodor.
So I had one choice of action, and now I'm thinking about going to help out our fallen comrade, but it would put me close to getting my ass kicked as well, which is probably what I'm going to do. Who can heal her, as far as I know, who can heal that is close to...
Byron, for sure.
You know that Brother Byron is close by and he has a healing spell.
Yeah.
You also know that Alder has healing as well.
I think if I move here, I'll have the horse between me and the red cap. And I'm going to do my Spare the Dying cantrip to Gabrielle.
That puts her at 1 HP, I believe.
What it does is if a living creature has 0 hit points, you're stable. So you're not bleeding out, you're not in chance of dying, you're stable.
Exactly. It stops them from bleeding out. So Gabrielle won't have to make a roll each turn to bleed out. You have 3 turns of failing your save.
Do I have a consciousness automatically, or do I have to roll to regain consciousness?
You have to roll this. All this does is make it so you're not bleeding out. It just stabilizes you. It doesn't say it doesn't heal you or twitch in 1 point, or it doesn't say anything like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It'll help.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what Grodor did on his turn. Nothing else, correct, Grodor?
And that's my action.
Okay. Marduk?
Okay.
You saw from your angle, you got a perfect angle of it, the red cap with its sickle sliced into Gabrielle's left leg deeply, avoiding her armor. She bent down in pain, kind of slid towards that end of the horse, like kind of slid off the horse a little bit, holding her leg in pain, not off the horse, but slid over, so she was kind of hanging off. And then it just surprised her with another shot directly to her chest, which took her off her mount and planted her straight into the ground.
Right. I'm going to close up and attack. Quick question. That boulder to the left of, or directly south of the
red cap,
would that count as partial cover for myself, that +2?
That would count as difficult terrain, and if you're in melee combat, I don't get the cover. You get cover from ranged attacks.
That's fine.
Great.
So I'm going to move up, and I'm going to attack. Now my spear is glowing. It seems that it is blessed or magical from Amira.
Yes.
I don't know if it has any pluses or bonuses.
Yeah, this is your first attack with it, so I'm going to tell you right now, it's +1. It's magical.
We'll add a 1 to this. So I will attack.
Well, that's not what you wanted.
I'm sure that's not going to hit, so that was a 9.
No, you didn't miss by as much as you thought you were going to miss with your attack. You kind of stumbled over a stone as you were getting into position, and the spear sailed with your swing right over its head. And
so what I would like to do is then take an action surge, take 1 additional action on top of my regular action, because this is a desperate motion, and I was really hoping to hit. So I will attack again to complete this game.
Yes,
red
multiple.
Cap.
Yeah, exactly. It cackles evilly after your first move.
Oh my God, I rolled a 10.
And now it's just talking trash and Sylvan.
Got inspiration you might want to spend?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I do have inspiration. Ooh.
Go ahead and use it.
You roll at 11. I believe in you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet Lord in heaven.
Yes, I was right.
I am apparently taking the slow train up to attacks here. I rolled a 9, I rolled a 10, and then now I rolled an 11.
Wow.
Which is, well, that's a 12 technically if it's a +1. I haven't added +1.
Right, exactly. You hit the creature with the 12, but it glanced off its armor. So you know that you're right there. Any number higher, you're going for it. That is Marduk's turn, which takes us back to Gabrielle at 18, which I don't think can do something, Gabrielle. Mm-hmm. When you're stable, you're just waiting for someone to wake you up and heal you at this point.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Gabrielle is waiting her turn for...
She's waiting her turn, right.
Later.
Byron.
Then I absolutely do Cure Light Wounds.
Cure Light Wounds is not a ranged attack, and a range healing, is it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you have to touch.
It might provoke attack of opportunity if you step up to heal. Unless you can get around somehow. Cut through the woods.
So you need to move right next to her to help her. Or if you have Healing Word, you can use that at a range.
No.
Okay. You can get there with 25 foot of movement and not provoke an attack of opportunity from the red cap. You then Cure Light Wounds on Gabrielle. Okay, so go ahead and do your 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability. Okay, Gabrielle. 10 points.
Oh, man. Oh, a +5.
I think you just go down to 0, Gabrielle, and you only do negatives if it would take you to negative your hit points for death. So if you would have ended up with that 3-hit attack, if he would have took you down to negative 18 or whatever your hit points are,
right,
then you would be dead. Otherwise, you just stay at 0. So you're at 10 right now.
All right, so I did need to keep track of how many negative I went, but I didn't need to account for that.
Correct, on the healing side of things.
All right, well, then I'm nearly max. Dang. 10 HP. Healthy day.
Good day. It is Vidania's turn. She is going to go to where Brother Byron was, and she casts Healing Word on Gabrielle. So it's 1d4 plus 4 for a total of course I roll 1 when it comes to healing. I roll 4 for damage. That's a total of 5 healing, Gabrielle.
Back up to maximum. Level 2, baby.
Yeah, gotta love level 2. That takes us to Aranis, who is in a heap of trouble.
How's that?
He's 1-on-1 with a red cap.
Yeah, well, I've experienced
You've experienced that. He draws out his short sword and attacks. His first attack is, wow, apparently just the good guy is going to roll shitty and the bad guy is going to roll really good tonight. That's going to be the way it's going to play out. He rolled a 5, which plus his 6 is an 11, which is not a hit. He attacks a second time and rolls an amazing 7, which plus 6 is 13, which is a hit. He then rolls 1d6 plus 4 for damage. And I roll a 1 again for damage for a total of 5. 3 damage to the red cap. As Aranis drops his bow, pulls out his short sword, and is fighting for his life. That takes us to the next person, who is Alder.
I also drop my crossbow and draw my mother's rapier and step between Melody and Brother Byron for 10 because it's in the woods. Then 15 and difficult terrain to 25. I am going to use my inspiration and attack and roll a 21. That's not a natural 20, however. That was
16, right?
Simply a 16.
Nice roll. It's a hit.
And I do 10 damage because I not only stab this creature with my rapier, but it's a sneak attack. It's a sneak attack because A, he didn't know I was there, but also B, I have someone within 5 feet of the creature engaged, and I will always have a sneak attack at that time. So
right. So on a sneak attack, you get double the damage dice.
No, I get
a specific amount, right?
The 4.
Oh, okay, that's great.
I rolled on a die 8. That 4. The 6 is the sneak attack, which I rolled on a die 6.
Got it. Excellent. That's 10 damage to the creature, and actually it's 11 damage because your mother's rapier
is plus 1.
Plus 1.
Nice. Is there any chance this creature falls?
It howled in pain with that shot. It is bleeding profusely from the wound that both you and Marduk have recently hit it with.
I never hit him. It was.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You never did. That's right. I'm sorry. It is.
You struck out 3.
I know. It was like, oh my God.
It got closer each time too. Yeah, it's howling in pain, gripping its side with its free hand off of its sickle, and it is absolutely devastatingly in pain.
I scream to the other red cap, which I'm doing it in common, and you probably won't understand it. But I'm saying, back off, or this one dies, and then you afterwards. I'm not sure it's going to work, but it's worth a try.
Okay, I'm going to say that that's intimidation, so go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Okay, and that is a 21.
What I will give you for that, because it's impressive, they do speak halting common. They are not speaking in common. They have no reason to speak to you in common. but they do understand it a bit. You rolled exceptional. The 21 is a nice roll. The one that you yelled at hasn't been hit yet, and they're sprung to life out of the blood of anger and even hatred is how they spring to life. This is all told to you after the battle by Melody as she reiterates what she's learned about the Red Caps. So they're not really into bargaining. What I will say is that your intimidation roll caused him to be distracted, and he only gets one attack this turn instead of the 3 that he would normally get.
Okay.
Okay? So that takes us to, I'm sorry, is there anything else that you want to do this turn?
Unfortunately, this creature is still standing and alive, so I do not want to cast a spell while standing next to him.
Right.
So no, I am done for the turn.
Okay. That takes us to the Red Caps themselves. And the Red Cap that's next to Aranis attacks him with only one attack due to the intimidation by Alder. The Red Cap, because I roll high for the bad guys, rolled a 15 plus 6, I believe.
Yikes.
Yes, it's plus 6 to hit. So he strikes Aranis with 2 dice 4 plus 4, and of course, I rolled a 3 and a 4 for damage, rolled high for damage again, for a total of 11 damage to Aranis. So the sickle strikes home, slices into his side. Aranis doesn't say a word. I mean, he takes a shot, but he's standing there resolutely in his wood, defending it against this Red Cap. And that was 11 damage, so he is definitely bleeding. That takes us to the other Red Cap, who has 3 attacks.
And before he attacks, I tell him, do your worst, you stinking little whatever you are, Red Cap.
Evil, fey creature, Red Cap. Okay. The first attack is going to be Alder, because it hurt him badly with that rapier. He rolled a 14, plus 6 is 20, which I'm sure is a hit. 2 dice 4 is a 4 and a 2, so 6 damage, plus 4 is 10.
Okay.
It then attacks again. It rolled a 12 plus 6 is a hit, I'm assuming. And this one is against Marduk?
Yes. Hit.
Okay. And then 2 dice 4 for damage. Well, they kind of even themselves out. A 1 and a 4 for 5 damage plus 4 for the damage is 9. And then it's undecided because you attacked it 3 times, which freaked it out. Even though you missed all 3, Marduk. And your thing is glowing with light.
Right.
So I'm going to just do a die 20 here and say, well, I'll do a die 4.
I want the hit. Bring it, little man.
Say 1 to 2 is Alder, 3 and 4 is Marduk. It's 2, so it's Alder.
Oh, damn it. I'm trying to take
I roll high when you want it.
I can't. I can just keep on rolling high tonight. I'm really sorry, guys. 15 to hit, which is a 21, and a 4 and a 1. So 9 damage, which I'm sure takes Alder down.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes us, that's the end of their turn, takes us to Mel. Mel, you are right next to a fallen Alder, and I don't know if you can do anything about that.
I don't know. Both my friends died in this battle, so.
But Gabrielle is standing again.
Yeah, she's back up.
And looking
so
quite
that gives
healthy.
Me hope, at least, for Alder, but still panicked. So I think I'm just gonna try to finish this thing off, charge it with the crossbow. Well, that's not a good idea, but I don't think I'm thinking clearly.
Well, you could also stop Alder from bleeding as an action using medicine, but
I am not good at that.
Brother Byron is nearby as well, so there's that as well.
Yeah, I don't want to complicate his job by trying to do that.
Yeah, I got that.
Normally it would be difficult.
I never reloaded this crossbow, which is a thing crossbows need to do.
Yeah, but a light crossbow, its rate of fire allows you to load and fire at the same round.
The same round. Yep, that is correct.
That's the heavy crossbow that.
And
that's what I was thinking of. Okay.
Normally, Alder would be in your way for disadvantage on your crossbow attack, but he is down. Right, he's prone right now, so that does not happen.
Then I think I'm gonna stand over top to make sure he can't be hit, and gonna take a shot at this thing.
Now, I'm not sure
if there's a disadvantage at point
but
blank.
I think there's a disadvantage with a ranged weapon when you are engaged with an opponent.
I step over Alder. I want to make sure he can't get hit. And
okay.
If shooting it's going to be difficult, I think, can I use it like an improvised weapon and smack him for like a die 6?
Improvised, I believe, is die 4.
Nah.
So I don't know that you really
That's
want
not likely to kill him.
To do that? No. He's bleeding heavily. He's not quite wobbling like he's just a couple points away from death. He's a little ways away yet, but not far from death.
Yeah, I'm going to drop to a knee just behind friend then and shoot this crossbow using inspiration for advantage. Well,
don't use it.
Don't use it yet.
And so you might want to use it now. 13 hits.
Yeah, this does damage, I guess.
3. It sticks. Not much. It's kind of hanging out at an angle, but you do pierce it, and it takes damage, making it much more easier for Grodor or Marduk to take him out, hopefully, next. So, Grodor, you're next.
If I fire through people, it's with disadvantage, right?
Correct.
I think I'm going to do that, see if I can take this guy down.
You're on a horse right now, by the way.
Yeah, you're actually in the horse. So you can move through that area if you want to. I don't mind that. Ducking down underneath it or moving around it like in close quarters. But you probably want to be in another square because you are in the horse.
I want to jump on the horse.
You could jump on the horse if you want, but that would take half your movement up.
Would that give me advantage so since I'm higher, I can shoot over people?
It wouldn't give you advantage, but it would take away the disadvantage.
Yeah.
Isn't Gabrielle still on the ground?
She's on the ground. She's not on the horse. He's jumping on the back of the horse.
You mean if I would have just stayed here and just fired, it should be fine?
Correct.
Let's do that.
Alder is correct because Gabrielle is on the ground at this point. That is the case. Wow.
Jeez, I'm going to go home.
Dude, you're taking all the luck.
Let's not be angry with the man who's doing good damage.
And then you
did 8 damage, which is actually 8 damage. Grodor, tell me what happens.
Hit him square in the chest with a blast and smashed him up against the rock.
That's what happens. A blast of eldritch energy fires forth from Grodor, striking the red cap directly in its chest, taking it off its feet and slamming it into the rock behind it, crushing its skull while it crashes into the rock, and it expires into a pool of blood.
From whence it came.
Oh.
A dramatic killing blow by Grodor. And that takes us to Marduk. And what is Marduk doing in this situation?
All right. I'm glad to see that somebody can be effective on this team other than the burly half-orc with apparently, performance issues.
Yeah, just don't put me up next to it.
Well, Brother Byron and Mel take care of Gabrielle and Alder. Grodor, you and me, let's go help out this elf and move as fast as we can. And I'm going to take my move.
I think Gabrielle's standing up beside you, like maybe this turn or next.
I'm sorry, I thought she was on the ground.
She was at one point and got mega healed. So she's back up to half or more.
All right,
I'm almost full now.
She's giving you a thumbs up from the ground.
Then I'm going to move 30, and I will take my action. I'm going to second wind. I'm going to heal myself. 1 die 10.
1 die 10.
My level. So 1 second,
So 1 die 10 plus 2.
Jesus.
So 4.
Yeah, so a total of 4 points. Hopefully that will set me up in position to assist or help out
Excellent.
The Elf Lord here.
Okay, Gabrielle, you're prone on the ground. You feel life rush back into you again. What do? You see that Alder is fallen. You saw, while your eyes came open last turn, you saw that the red cap was destroyed into a pool of blood by Grodor's Eldritch Blast.
Mm-hmm. How messed up is Alder looking?
Alder's looking...
Like full-on unconscious?
Full-on unconscious, yeah. Bleeding out.
Okay. Let me see.
He's flanked by 2 clerics.
Yeah, I can't... But One of them's a druid.
Oh.
Yeah.
A druid, a paladin, and a cleric walk into a bar. And I'm dead on the floor.
When I've got a few moments, she's blinking as she props herself up on her hammer and she asks, Brother Byron, do you have any healing left for our friend here?
I do not, but I can stabilize him.
As a paladin, have you already used up your lay on hands?
I have not, but I can't do anything magic-wise damage, so I was hoping to save it for a smite. But I'm not within 30 feet, so she judges the distance, realizes she can't charge the last remaining red cap. So instead, she lays a glowing hand on Alder's wounds, and they slowly stitch themselves back together.
Yes, and with a gasp, Alder is back awake.
How much damage did you heal?
How many points are you missing?
10, right?
I'm missing them all. 14.
Okay. I'll dump 12 then.
All right. Gabrielle stands up, a little shaky, walks over to Alder, puts a glowing hand on his chest, whispers a prayer to Amira, and consciousness returns to Alder as he gasps for air and comes up back into the waking world. That takes us to Byron.
So there's nobody in dire need of help here?
I think Alder has a few scratches, still wounds open. Gabrielle has a few wounds, if I'm not mistaken.
You can move after you've done your action, right?
Yep, you can move, action, move.
All right, I'm going to rush my way. I almost make it up to Marduk.
All right, you find your footing and you race after you heal Alder. You race towards combat.
Yeah.
Across the woodland. That takes us to Byron.
So I'm going to take off.
We did not have the long rest after dealing with the fight.
Correct. You guys kind of
definitely
might have been able to get a short rest in, but not a long rest in because this happened at right around midnight. So it wasn't in the early morning where you would have got a full rest, unfortunately.
Makes sense.
Okay. Again, following Gabrielle's lead, Byron runs towards combat. What do you have in your hands, Byron?
Light crossbow.
So your light crossbow. Okay. Are you trying to get off a shot?
Yeah, why not? Chance of hitting anybody?
No, you won't have a chance of hitting Gabrielle, but she's right in front of you. But she will give you disadvantage on your roll because she's blocking your attack.
That's my fault.
As much as running towards combat could be anyone's fault.
It could have been in a different lane. But yeah.
10.
Ooh, so close. Your crossbow whistles past the shoulder, right over the shoulder of the red cap and past Aranis and strikes against a rock and is destroyed. After Byron's turn, it is now the elf's turn.
Can I ask the female elf that's standing next to me over my crossbow to hand the crossbow to me?
Sure. You can ask her that. And
I do ask her that and hope she understands common.
She says to you, would you prefer to be healed?
No. I'm fine.
She smiles and hands you your crossbow and then moves there and fires her crossbow. I'm going to say that was like a bonus action or it was a free action or a bonus action to pick up your crossbow and hand it to you. And she rolls a die 20 for her attack.
These guys are just not on their game.
This is amazing. I rolled a 6 plus 6 is 12, which just so happens to miss by 1. The shot fires just past again, missing the red cap, and she is done with her turn. Aranis is defending his woodland from the red cap and goes ahead and makes an attack roll with his short sword. He rolls a 14 plus 6 is 20, so he hits. The short sword is 1d6 plus 4. So he rolls a 4 plus 4 is 8. It strikes home. He attacks again. He rolls a 9 plus 6 is 15. That's a hit. Once again, die 6 plus 4 is a 2 this time, plus 4 is 6. So that's 3 damage because he doesn't have a magical weapon. And that's another hit. 2 quick slashes with his short sword as he fights off the red cap. It is then Alder's turn.
I move.
You stand up prone, which is half your movement.
Okay.
And the stone that's between you and the red cap is only 3 foot high, but he's only 3 foot high. So it's still going to probably, no, based on mathematics, I think you could shoot over it.
I'm moving to this location here, which gives me an angle without shooting through any of my fellow fists. And I shoot my crossbow into the red cap. Hopefully, maybe.
Yes.
Hold a 20.
Not natural. Rolled an unnatural 20.
So that is 11 damage.
11 damage. Nicely done. A crossbow bolt that strikes him in his left clavicle and sticks.
I also yell at him, we killed the one, we'll kill the other. Stop already. It's not going to work, but.
Right. Yeah, I think your point's been made at this point. I'm not going to give you a chance to
and then I fall on the ground dead, so,
Right. He gets an extra attack for that. Okay, that's Alder. Now it's the red cap's turn.
Nope, not quite done.
Okay, sorry.
I also speak to Amira, and I'm back to maximum. As I use Healing Word on myself. Okay. That is a bonus action, so it doesn't require.
Yes, absolutely a bonus action.
So now I'm done.
So that's the end of your turn. It's the red cap's turn. He is muttering in Sylvan, which Melody later tells you is just, you created blood, you will end in blood. I've come for you, Creator. I've come to return you to the earth. And he attacks. And of course, 14 plus 6 is 20. 2 die 4. 10 damage. So the first attack with the huge sickle strikes home, and Aranis, his left shoulder just erupts in blood in an open wound as he takes a huge amount of damage. It is the second attack. I rolled a 17 this time because apparently when I'm rolling for the red caps, I don't know what single digits are. And that is definitely a hit because it's a 23. 2 dice 4 for damage plus 4 is 7 damage. So this time he strikes him in the right thigh from the left shoulder, draws blood again, and Aranis buckles a bit with the shot. Third attack. 13 plus 6 is 19, which strikes the leather-clad elf a third time. 2 dice 4 plus 4. Aranis goes down.
Dangerous little men.
They are evil, evil fae, and are very dangerous. The evil fae raises his sickle in the air as if he's going to finish him off. He can't yet because he has his 3 attacks, but that's his intention. Mel, it's your turn.
6 spaces is the most I can do. I dash past the rock where Byron was hunkering down at the beginning of this battle, making my way over towards our fallen elven friend.
Yes.
But I don't have a magic weapon. I don't have anything other than this crossbow, so I'm going to try to at least interrupt his action. There's no way I can shoot the sickle out of his hand. Not that good a shot.
Not unless you roll a natural 20.
Okay, here goes. Nope.
A 13 is a hit, though. I'm going to say that the angle that you have, Gabrielle and Brother Byron are in front of you, but you can get enough of an angle in the square that you're in to get a clear shot off at the red cap. So you hit. Roll for damage.
Pink.
2 damage. It grazes him and skitters off towards the rocks and is broken upon them. Takes us to Grodor, next to the horse, back where the other red cap was obliterated.
That should be 30 from where it was.
Okay, 30 movement, so you charge forward, unleashing yet another Eldritch Blast?
Yeah, with disadvantage, unfortunately.
Because there are people between you. So will disadvantage possibly stop Grodor's insane rolling with his Eldritch Blast?
A 19 and a 12.
The 12 just misses. I mean, yes, just misses. And
wait, I have inspiration, though, don't I?
You do have inspiration, and you can re-roll the 12.
Let's do that. Nope.
Oh, the inspiration is gone. Your last death there with the Eldritch Blast, I think, drained any inspiration from you as you completely obliterated the other red cap. But this one, not so much, unfortunately. And that takes us back to Grodor moved and acted. And you don't have a bonus action or anything, do you, Grodor?
Nope. I don't have any bonus actions as far as I know.
Okay, that takes us to Marduk.
And I'm going to try to meat shield this for everyone, so I'm going to call him all sorts of diminutive names, and I am going to hit him like I mean it this time.
Sure, I trust it. Remember your +1.
Oh!
You charge forward, rear back with your spear, and plunge it deep into his back.
Okay, this is a good payoff because that's a critical hit, and because I'm an orc, I get a savage attack. So when I score a critical hit with a melee attack weapon, which that's what I'm doing,
yes,
I get to roll 1 extra damage dice and add to the extra damage of the critical hit. So I'm going to do critical damage plus.
So you're doing 3 dice 8 instead of 1 dice 8, correct?
Correct.
Plus what, 5?
You're right. It's attack plus 5 and another +4 for the piercing damage.
3 dice 8 plus 4. Make it good. I mean, he was completely unaware. It's almost like he posed for you by raising his sickle in the air, hovering over the elf, about to do a coup de grace.
Oh, I totally forgot about this. Great weapon fighting. Now, when I roll a 1 or 2 on damage die for an attack made with a melee weapon wielded in 2 hands, which is my spear,
yep,
I get to re-roll the die.
Excellent. Re-roll it and don't roll a flipping 1.
All right, that was
roll
a 4.
An 8. Roll an 8.
I have to
roll an 8.
And whatever it is, even if it's a 1 or 2, I have to take it.
Right, but no, roll an 8.
All right, 5.
All right, so 21 damage. So you absolutely just pull that spear back and plunge it deep into its back. It goes deep into its back. You hear bones cracking.
Nice.
It is a devastating attack. The red cap falls to its knees, still holding its sickle in the air, still hovering over a coup de grace on Aranis. But that was a lot of damage. Because it was a magic item, it was fully taken.
Good.
It is on death's door as blood just spurts out of its back.
All right, come on, guys, help me finish him off.
Gabrielle.
I'll finish my charge and strike the target. I'll stay 10 feet away in case I miss. I'll have to come get me. She brings her pole hammer up, brings the pointed tip to bear, and charges the target.
Oh!
A total of 11. I kind of want to spend my inspiration, but I feel like there's other turns for people to take where they will have a chance themselves.
There will be other people who can possibly take out the red cap.
10, 15.
But
there's a certain poetic justice where we're the first one to go down, and now you're the one finishing the fight, so.
That's true. All right, I'll spend my inspiration and see what I can get. Pole hammer attack. Oh, much better. I rolled a 23, which is
that's
18
a hit.
plus 5.
And what's your pole hammer's damage?
D10 plus 3 bludgeoning.
I imagine this hit is like at the county fair where you take the mallet and you just...
Yes, that's exactly what I'm envisioning here. Is he was going... I thought he was going to go with the sharp end of the pole arm, but when he said bludgeoning, I'm thinking that she is raising that above her head, coming down with both hands, full body force, right onto its temple. Right into the crown of its head.
Into its bloody red hat.
Into its bloody red hat.
I rolled maximum amount of damage, a 10 plus 3 for strength.
Gabrielle, tell me what happens.
Mid-charge, she realizes she wants to go with an overhead strike, so she brings it back and then shifts it over her head, both hands, brings it down, cracking upon his skull. And you said the other one, liquidated into just blood?
Yes.
All right, so yeah, it's like somebody popped a water balloon, absolutely slaps against the ground with a wet sound, and
I'll take the assist.
Thanks,
okay.
Marduk.
That's awesome. So it totally bursts into a blood bubble as you crush its skull, absolutely just splatters out with blood. We're going to stay in combat because we have someone who's on the borderline of death. And I'm sure that he will be saved, but we don't know that for certain. So we're going to go from Gabrielle to Byron at 16. And what do? You run up using some of your movement, kind of come to a skid. Aranis the elf is lying in a heap. He's got blood from his shoulder. He's got blood from his thigh. He's got blood from a shot to his stomach area that took him down, that last hit of the red cap. He's bleeding profusely from various areas.
I'm going to stabilize him using medicine.
All right. Make a medicine check, please. You pull out some gauze. Wow.
Critical.
26.
Jeez, now we get
Natural 20.
Okay. Normally stabilizing takes him to 0 and just stabilizes him, and then he has to be healed. I'm going to say that because you rolled a natural 20, he actually comes back to 1 hit point, which is unheard of. You spend your 6 seconds just hitting the right spots and applying the right ointments and salves and poultices, and his eyes flicker open, and he looks at you, and he reaches out an arm towards you, puts it on your shoulder, his arm's shaking because he's still very wounded, and says, "Thank you," in Elvish.
You're welcome in Elvish.
And we'll stop the combat there because everyone is at least out of combat rounds. And if anyone wants to do anything after combat, we certainly can do that as we wrap up here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that combat ended a lot more satisfying.
I just round the horses up.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Silas and Chestnut. What a job they've done.
Yes, they were actually very brave, and especially Silas was very brave. And you're right, Marduk, that battle ended a lot differently than it looked like it was going to go. Great job, everyone, tonight. That was a pretty tense battle, and it looked like it could go either way for a while. I appreciate everyone's role-playing and battle tactics. It was really cool to be part of. And thanks to the listeners. I hope the battle was exciting for you, as it was for me as a DM, and hopefully for the players as well. Have yourselves a great week, and we'll see you back here next week.
Yeah, good time. Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Knights of the Night Actual Play Podcast. If you'd like to send us a question, comment, or feedback, you can reach us in a number of ways, including Twitter @KOTN_podcast or by emailing us at feedback@KOTNpodcast.com. And don't forget the iTunes reviews. We also have a Facebook page which can be found at facebook.com/KOTN.podcast. While on Facebook, you can join like-minded folks at our fan page at facebook.com/groups/KOTNfan. And lastly, there's our blog at KOTNpodcast.com, where there's an Amazon link on the right-hand side for those of you who'd like a more steady way to help us pay the bills. Or if you live outside the U.S., you can help by donating to our Patreon page at patreon.com/KOTN. And please remember to join us next week for more mystery and adventure.
Are you there, Gerder? Or are you on mute?
Yeah, I'm muted.
Mm-hmm. It's for bleeding.
And Thomas has a habit of getting into those situations.
Mm-hmm. Well,
no.
Do I get back?
Gabrielle does.
Yeah, say Gabrielle.
No, I meant Thomas because Montes did the same, but
Sure did.
Well, would you want to use your inspiration?
for advantage in this instance.
What, you just roll to see if you hit and then use the inspiration if you didn't?
Technically, by the rules, you're not allowed to do that. It has to be determined ahead of time.
Oh, that roll sucks ass.
Really?
Not a house rule in that. No way. No, just roll once. And
All
your
right,
roll is
I
a
didn't
21.
use my inspiration. I rolled a 21.
And gonna take a shot at this thing.
Now, I'm not sure,
If there's a disadvantage at point
but
blank.
I think there's a disadvantage with a ranged weapon when you are engaged with an opponent. So as much as I applaud your bravado to stand over Alder, I think it would actually give you disadvantage on the roll. It used to provoke an attack of opportunity in earlier versions of D&D, but in this version, it just gives you disadvantage on the attack to use a ranged weapon, unless you have a feat that allows you to do that, which I'm sure you don't.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the rule right now,
Yes.
in case you want it. It's,
No, I'm all for it. Thank you.
ranged attacks in close combat. When you make a ranged attack with a weapon, a spell, or some other means, you have disadvantage on the attack roll if you are within 5 feet of the hostile creature who can see you and who isn't incapacitated. He's not within 5 feet. He's within 10 feet.
Oh, actually, he's within 5 because he's standing where Alder is on right now.
Oh,
He's
that's
just-
right. I apologize.
But thank you for that. That's a really good point, because if the sickle was a 10-foot range, that would be a whole different story. He might be engaged, but not really engaged. So yeah, I get you. Doesn't the damage count the proficiency as well, or no?
It must. So you're right. It's 3d8 plus 4 once I hit the...
Can someone confirm this for me if they don't mind?
It's not proficiency, it's the attribute.
It's just the attribute.
If you're attacking with strength, then you add the strength bonus.
For some reason, I drew a complete blank on that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it is plus 4. 16.
That's 16 plus 5.
19 damage. And that first 12 has your pluses added in already, right? Your plus 4?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 19 damage.
No, that's 21 damage.
How do you get that?
16 plus 5?
Yes, you're correct. 21 damage.
The easy math we got past. We didn't get past.
Tricky bastard.
Yeah. I knew it was going to take the typical battle framework where at the beginning it looks dire. These things attack 3 times in a turn. It's really scary, and they're resistant to anything but magic weapons. But then the numbers would tell, because you guys had numbers and you had some magic items. It was just a matter of getting the people with the magic items in close combat and the people without the magic items at a distance. And you guys did a fantastic job of doing that during the combat, so I was very impressed.
They also got three of ours down, didn't they?
They got, 3 of the members down for the fight. It was a tough fight, and I knew it was tough going in because you guys didn't have a long rest to recuperate all your spells.
And no armor.
And you didn't have armor. And so as I was putting the encounter together, I was like, should there be 2 red caps or 3 red caps? They were challenge level of 3. And you guys are second level, but there's a lot of you. There's 6 of you. So it's almost like you round up to 3 because it's like you have half another group, because the groups are based on 4 players, the ideal group. So the challenge rating it was a tough challenge rating to kind of figure out how you guys would do. But I decided not to pull any punches and not roll anything under, like, behind the screen tonight, and just let the dice take us where it was. And the dice wanted you guys dead.
Yeah, it sure did.
I think it went well, though. I was a bit surprised at the beginning, but given how much healing was available, it worked out fine.
That I kind of factored that in as well. You've got 2 clerics, a druid, and a paladin. Yeah. So they attack 3 times in a turn. But first of all, I didn't think I was going to be rolling 15s and 16s all night long.
Sure.
I thought I'd roll some 2s and 3s somewhere along the way, and they'd miss a couple of their attacks. But I don't think those red caps, I don't know if they missed an attack.
I don't think they did.
I don't think the entire night they missed an attack. So that's pretty incredible.
So what would have happened if one of them would have kicked us?
That's a good question.
Okay, it's a great question. So let me see. Works. So the red cap moves up to its speed. So it has to move fully up to its speed to a creature it can see and kicks it with its iron boots. The target must succeed on a DC 14 dexterity saving throw or take 3 dice 10 plus 4 bludgeoning damage and be knocked prone. The boots were...
That's the tripping wolves from hell.
It was brutal, but I did the math and I decided that he wanted to attack Aranis 3 times because I had a feeling that the way I was rolling, it was going to be, I had more of a chance of rolling a 20 and getting a crit than I did on one roll. So although he ran full speed up to Aranis, I still had him do a regular 3 weapon attack. I didn't have him do the boots because the elves they've got great dexterities. And the red caps would know that elves have great dexterities. So his chance of beating that, making a dexterity saving throw, let me see what Aranis' dexterity saving throw is. It's +4. His dexterity was 19. And his proficiency bonus is +2. A total of +6 on his roll. And he would have had to beat a 14. So all he would have had to do is roll an 8 or higher.
Yeah. Well, my dexterity is a 12, so... I'm glad I didn't have to face that.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it was good that it didn't come into play, actually. Yeah, so good battle, guys. That was kind of, I think it didn't have too much of a lull in too many spots. It seemed to flow pretty good. Mm-hmm. At least for my first real battle. I mean, the ogre was a battle, but you were going to win that no matter what. So this was a little bit more of a challenge for you guys.
It turned out to be very well balanced. I mean, if you added 1 red cap or took away 1, it would have been, a whole different story.
Yeah. Thanks. It was just, to be perfectly honest, I mean, I put some thought into it, but I think it was kind of lucky too that.
Yep. Oh yeah, you rolled like unbelievable.
Yeah. All night long.
If we would have rolled one or two, or connected one or two more higher than that, trying to take that first one out, and if he would have went down quicker, then it could have been a different battle.
Yeah, it could have been a little easier. I don't think Aranis would have went down because everyone would have been able to move on to that second bread cap.
Yeah, I whiffed pretty bad there.
3 times. I mean, it was ridiculous because I was thinking to myself, another thing, these guys' AC is only 13. It's not like you're trying to hit an 18 AC or something. It's a 13. So I thought, oh, you guys are going to be hitting home all night long with your attacks. So I almost put 3 on the board. I'm glad I didn't. And Mel, I hope you got a chance to feel special with your being able to use your...
Yeah, it was good to figure out what they were weak to. Even
right,
we
exactly.
didn't have any cold iron on me. Like, if these things come back from violence, we might face them again.
Okay, thank you.
Yay, fist.
Yeah,
I'd think like the editor for a while. I was getting angry at some guy at work because every time he talked, it was like, I swear he had a microphone in his beard, for God's sake. It was just, every time he was bringing up, and it was like, what the hell are you doing? Stop.
Do you not hear that?
What is wrong with you? Other titles for this episode available for voting on the Facebook fan page were Gonna Spend 2 points of magic juice, and Your Thing is Glowing with Light, Taking the Slow Train Up to Attacks, My Fellow Fist, One-on-One with a Red Cap, and Dangerous Little Men.